Okay, hi YouTube and hi everyone who's on the stream right now. We are going to be talking about what is currently unfolding with Mr. Beast. So I'm sure we all, if we don't even watch Mr. Beast, we're aware of who Mr. Beast is. I mean, he's one of the most like commercialized YouTubers as of, recent. I love that this ad acts like this. One of the most commercialized YouTubers of like mainstream media, loving him and all this, right? So, Mr. Beast's worker friend, Chris, has announced that they are now going through hormones and basically treatments. It's affirming hormone replacement therapy. And they go by any pronouns. I'll just be using they for this video. They go by any pronouns. And I know that, they've said that they've been fine with he, with she, with, I'm just going to use they and kind of keep it consistent as that rather than going in and out. Where I'm aware of this article, I'm pretty sure might use he, so it'll be whatever. I'll try my best. And basically, the response to it has been overwhelmingly transphobic and overwhelmingly people using Chris. This is Chris right here from Mr. Beast as like a scapegoat to be just flat out like transphobic, and Mr. Beast fans are the main corporates of it. Like Mr. Beast's audience have turned on Chris because Chris has announced that they are going through this hormone replacement therapy, and Mr. Beast's own audience has turned on someone that a week ago they were obsessed with, and mainstream media has picked it up, and the mainstream media people are absolutely ripping into Chris as well. And Mr. Beast has now, had to, come to the defense, and there's been all these conspiracy theories and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to get to it and kind of go through this article by the Rolling Stone. So it says, Mr. Beast's Chris Tyson went on hormones, then came transphobic conspiracy theories. You don't rack up to 140 million YouTube subscribers without winning yourself some toxic fans. Mr. Beast has had his share, despite a personal brand built around positivity. Oh my god, whenever people build their brand around positivity, I'm like side-eyeing them. Anyway, not the point. I'm not shading, but I'm just like, whatever. As well as goofy stunts. It's like a David Dobrik we're dealing with here. No. But one of the most watched creators online, Mr. Beast, says that his channel is, an institution of fun, staging massive cash giveaway competitions that double as, viral videos. I literally have like a cat hair here. Oh, I got it! Finally. Look, I'm like a beauty guru. Do you see it? There you go. Oh, wait! I didn't know it would actually focus. There it is! It was on my nose the entire start of this video, and it was really irritating me. So they double as viral videos. But all the money in the world can't shield you from culture wars, and now Mr. Beast fans are split regarding his connection to his friend and collaborator, Chris. So the audience like support Mr. Beast anymore because Mr. Beast's friend, Chris, who's always in the videos, has announced that they're going through hormone replacement therapy. So, Tyson, Chris Tyson, 26, and a revealed last week that they're on gender-affirming hormone replacement, and their two Twitter accounts now say they go by any pronouns. The announcement came in reaction to a viral tweet comparing an older photo of Tyson to their appearance in a more recent video with the caption, "Bro, WTF happened?" In a quote tweet, Chris Tyson replied, HRT, and it's only been 2 months, so hormone replacement treatment. Tyson went on to state the importance of letting people, make informed decisions about their own bodies. We have people on Twitter responding, like this person, Melanie, who said, Viagra is gender-affirming care. Hair transplants are gender-affirming care. Breast implants are gender-affirming care. Treating low testosterone in straight men is gender-affirming care. Republicans are not trying to erase the trans community, Republicans are trying to erase the trans community, not ban gender-affirming care, or whatever this tweet is, right? And then the response from Chris was, informed consent, HRT, saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to go through in order to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first-world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions on their own body. And I think that that is exactly the take here. Let people make decisions on their own body. I don't understand why that's so hard. I don't understand why that's, such a difficult concept for people. Like, let people decide what they want to do with their own body. It's a very, very, very easy concept. And anyone who poses that is just a dickhead. Like, for no reason. Like, you're not angry about what other people that aren't you are doing with their bodies. Like, zip it. So, while YouTube, Donaldson, so Mr. Beast is Donaldson, fellow members of the Mr. Beast crew and many other creators expressed their support that Tyson also had to deal with a wave of transphobic trolls and responded to one who aimed that his son was losing a father figure. This is more dog whistling that somehow trans and gender non-conforming folks aren't safe around kids, which we are aware that is very much so being pushed. I mean, with the trying to, ban drag shows and all like this, it's basically pushing this agenda that anyone within the LGBTQ plus community or anyone who struggles with their gender identity are P-words. Like, that is literally the narrative that is being pushed. And it has been for a while. And that's why, all of, Congress and stuff are trying to, eradicate drag shows. And they're trying to stop, people being allowed to make decisions about, whatever gender treatments they want. And why they're trying to, reverse gay marriage and all like this. Because they're saying that, all of us are dangerous to kids. And not the guns, by the way. Which they absolutely love. So Tyson tweeted, for someone of Tyson's internet fame, this kind of backlash is coming, it can be inevitable. But the Mr. Beast community, response to gender's presentation that Tyson has been having, had begun weeks earlier, thanks to generalized transphobia and homophobia among some fans. Most of this, by the way, is coming from Mr. Beast's own fan base. Earlier this year, comments attributing Tyson's more feminine look to a so-called Carl effect. Which is, on TikTok, Carl Jacobs is another member of the Mr. Beast team who started out as a cameraman before being promoted to an on-screen regular and has regularly appeared in videos since 2020. So, the Carl effect is basically believing that Jacobs is persuading others in the group to become more effeminate, noting that he is often seen wearing jewelry and has painted nails. So, Jacobs, the person that they're saying is, the Carl effect, has said that he is somewhere on the spectrum of asexuality. So basically, they're saying that the Carl effect is because Carl, paints their nails and wears jewelry, which literally, by the way, I'm sure so many people that are watching this, by the way, are wearing jewelry. And so they're using this Carl effect because Carl, the Carl effect, whatever, is, painting your nails, whatever, that you're forcing the others in the group to, become more effeminate and stuff like that. And so these jokes are based in, transphobia and homophobia, and they're being hurled at Chris right now. Fans upset with Tyson's new gender presentation, so here we're seeing people upset with someone else's identity, have tended to blame Jacob, citing the made-up effect. By the end of January, Jake Weddle, a former Mr. Beast collaborator who compelled to respond to such comments, so Weddle criticized those complaining that Carl had influences Tyson's identity or sexuality. Tyson came out as bisexual in 2020 and dismissed the idea of a Carl effect, which is so stupid that, they even had to do that. Carl's just expressing himself the way he wants to, and I think that Chris is just comfortable expressing the way he wants to. Or no, was he the one to? So anyway, here's the video.
I've been seeing a lot of this on the comments on my last post when it comes to me leaving Mr. Beast and oh, can you replace Carl because now Carl is making Chris gay? Anybody who follows me or anybody who follows Beast who thinks that shit should stop, because that's really awful. Nobody's making anybody do anything, and there is no Carl effect. Carl is just expressing himself the way he wants to, and I think Chris...
So the Carl, things are homophobia being thrown at, the Carl thing, and then transphobia being thrown at Chris.
Chris is just comfortable expressing himself the way he wants to, and he's probably less comfortable expressing himself the way he wants to because of people like this. So if you're this person, shut the fuck up.
Good video. Nevertheless, problematic analysts of the relationship between Jacobs and Tyson continue to gain millions of views on TikTok. So basically, the Carl effect is Jacobs, and then Tyson is Chris. They were getting millions of views on TikTok. In March, Tyson acknowledged the trend, sharing a clip in which a narrator says Carl is tearing the Mr. Beast team apart and turning them gay. Like, the worst thing in the world, apparently. You know, the worst thing in the world. What can be worse than, you know, being gay, apparently? So, here's a quote that Chris wrote. This is so cringe, but I unironically find it the funniest thing I've ever seen. Later in the month, he cited the Carl effect meme and dismissed speculation that the two were dating, which obviously, you know, how can two people on any LGBTQ plus community, you know, different gender identity, they have to be dating, right? So Chris said, this is so cringe, but I unironically find it to be the funniest thing ever.
Carl is tearing the Mr. Beast team apart and turning them gay?
So this is like on Snapchat, like a promoted video on Snapchat, by the way. Like, this is like a promoted thing. Chris said, the Carl effect, while it lasted, was funny to me because even though Carl is a great friend, y'all think he's my type. I'm into way taller than me, ripped and quiet. Every time I had to see someone talk about me and Carl date, I was like, oh, they just don't have any clue. So basically trying to be like lighthearted and stuff about it, but obviously this is just like really, really, really weird. The videos kept coming after Tyson confirmed that they were receiving HRT, so hormone, you know, treatment, with some fans complaining that they missed the old Chris. One TikTok with 4.4 million views and nearly 500,000 likes basically says that Mr. Beast collaborator Chandler interacting uncomfortably with Tyson during a live stream, with a transphobic caption added to the footage. Neither has commented on the clip, which does not appear any, you know, friction between them, but basically people starting fights now, trying to get Chris removed from the grip and saying that Chris is making everyone uncomfortable, and Chandler being one of the people in the grip. Some reactions have been extreme. On a popular TikTok that repurposes an audio clip from Breaking Bad to insult Tyson and suggest that he was ruining Mr. Beast's content, one user commented, here's an idea. If we get Jake back, maybe he can beat some damn sense into Chris, wake him up from his BS. The Jake alluded here to Donaldson, so Mr. Beast's friend Jake, known as blah, 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 blah. And in the past few days, transphobic fans of Mr. Beast's content have garnered significant engagement with negative replies to tweets in which Tyson shows off his gender fluid identity. A representative for Donaldson, Mr. Beast, did not respond to a question about whether he had any plans to address followers who have tried to shame Tyson, okay? Still, Tyson has received many positive responses across social media and said, I was super nervous to be public about this because I've always been so private about this. So basically, for the people who say they miss the old Chris, the Chris you knew was not the real Chris. It was the Chris that Chris wanted you and thought that you would like. Tyson's detractors harassing them through a lens of the Carl effect closely aligns with unfounded far-right fears about how LGBTQ plus groups are supposedly grooming others into changing their sexual or gender identity, particularly kids. This moral panic has been used to justify a wide range of anti-gay and anti-trans legislations at state level. Young viewers who buy into the concept that Tyson has fallen under the influence of gender non-conforming friends may be on their way to, harmful beliefs with these extremists that queer and trans folks are, being brainwashed. Thankfully, Tyson has Donaldson and Jacob standing up for them as the trolls continue to attack. Now, I will literally go on TikTok and every second video is a video with millions of views, making fun of how Chris looks, or body shaming them, or just transphobic or homophobic, or it's. If Mr. Beast had not responded, I would want Chris never to speak to Mr. Beast again, because at a certain stage. Alright, so this person tweeted, in a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends, only yes men cowards, hope you come out of this safe. Mr. Beast responds, opinion irrelevant, ratio. Then someone else said, I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing I'm not a coward who idly stands by watching a friend ruin his own life. So this person is saying that they are allowing Chris to go down this path. Carl says, I'm watching the whole friend group living happy lives, being themselves to the truest extent and counting up their money, but keep battling on Twitter. So we have Mr. Beast and Carl, responding. So here's my take on this. Mr. Beast has a responsibility to respond to this whenever directly his friend is being harassed by Mr. Beast's own audience. I think Mr. Beast needs to be responding more, needs to be defending more. I think it's disgusting that they're allowing, this to even be said without shutting down the audience. even if you're going to lose a bunch of your audience in defending your friend Chris, let people do what they want with their own bodies. How is Chris being on HRT doing anything to anyone who has any problems with it? You know, how directly does that, you know, affect your life? And again, it's just allowing this full narrative of that anyone who expresses anything to do with gender identity or on any spectrum of sexuality is just trying to groom other people into doing it. And I think that there is a responsibility for Mr. Beast, who identifies as a straight man, to stand up for, you know, his friend Chris. I think so, especially whenever it's coming from, you know, Mr. Beast's audience. I think he needs to be responding more. I feel incredibly awful for Chris. I think this is just going to show how many people are just waiting to be homophobic, how many people are just waiting to be transphobic, how many people are just waiting to do all this. The fact that I miss the old Chris, you never knew Chris. You still don't know Chris. I think it's disgusting. I honestly think it is so fucking revolting. Yeah. If he isn't standing up for Chris, then I think it says something about what he really thinks. Well, I'm not even going to say that, but what I am going to say is at a certain stage, you have a responsibility to shut down your audience, even if you're going to lose a big chunk of them. And I know a lot of these YouTube creators want to be, you know, as, you know, friendly to every audience as possible to, you know, get maximum income and maximum whatever. But at a certain stage, it's like you have to put your morals against money. And I think that's what needs to happen here. And shout out to Chris. And I just feel absolutely awful for them. And I wish them all the best with their hormone replacement therapy. But yeah, really upsetting to see. Really upsetting to see.